back, everyone, to the Pear Pod. I'm not going to do ASMR. Anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pear Pod. We are back for our third episode in Marbella, our second solo pod. Last week we had the Rob Lipsit podcast, and honestly, really happy with the response from you guys and from people that have listened to it. I got a lot of people saying that they got to hear stuff about Rob that they haven't heard before, which was exactly my goal. I didn't want to come in and talk about, macronutrients and fitness plans and stuff like that. I really want to try and understand a little more about Rob as a person and what his motivations are and stuff like that. So yeah, delighted. It surprised me, man. He's actually really nice guy. Obviously down to earth. We've met before on a couple of different shoots, but I've never really talked like that on a long scale like that. So really nice. Obviously, if you're watching Rob, thank you so much for your time. The guy's got a fucking shitload going on, so clearing 2 hours of his schedule to come over and have a chat with me obviously was very nice of him. And yeah, but why wouldn't he with the strongest army on the internet, the Pear Pod subscribers, up to 70 lads. So really appreciate everyone that's subscribing. The road to triple figures is coming in hot. But yeah, it's Monday morning here, so I'm a little slow this morning. It was my birthday last week, so I had a few drinks on Saturday. Don't mind if I do, but yeah, so I'm a little slow this morning. But I'm potting every Monday, man. It's just, I think it's going to just become a routine, something that I do. I think the only way to kind of continue to grow in this YouTube scene is just to upload consistently. Sorry, one a week I think is doable. It's a shit ton of work, if I'm totally honest with you. Now listen, I've dropped down to one camera, just this guy up front. The 2-angle thing, man, I think that was more of a me thing than anything, because no one seemed to give a shit, and it's so much more work for me to do it, to do 2 cameras, and then for editing and stuff like that. So for me, it came down to output wise, will I get more pods done talking like this with just the one setup? So that's what we're going to do. Let me just see what I have in my notes. I don't have a lot of stuff to go over this week, but I still want to just get into the habit of just finding stuff each week to write down. So I have like notes here that I write down stuff that happened during the week, just so I can do it for the pod and talk it back over. By the way, just on the off the back of the crypto stuff that we talked about last week, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who is very deep in the crypto space, very knowledgeable guy. And as a result of that conversation, I've changed up my investments in crypto and where my money is. And the main reason being that for me, with someone who has a smaller amount of money to put in at the start, the Bitcoins and the Ethereums, these things that have already seen like huge growth, I'm looking for investment opportunities where we can go up like thousands. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking for opportunity for my money to grow big. So like obviously I would love to get in on Ethereum when it was $150, or Bitcoin when it was down even in like the thousands. Do you know what I mean? You would have got in, you would have seen some huge growth. But right now there's better opportunities in altcoins. I'm not going to do a huge amount about it now. If you're interested, dig into it more, or leave a message and I'll talk to you about it further. I don't know fuck all about all this, but I am making an effort to educate myself more on it every day, because I think from everything I'm seeing, I know this all sounds very dramatic and all that stuff, but everything that I'm reading, this is the opportunity, this is the thing of our generation that I could say, oh geez, I wish I got in at the start of that, and this is it. So for someone with not a huge amount of income, or definitely income that I'm willing to risk or burn, this is obviously a riskier way, but a way where a smaller amount of money can go a longer distance, essentially. So I'll talk about that further. This isn't a crypto channel. I just want to talk about it. That's something that happened this morning and why I'm podding a little bit later today. Yeah, actually, last week I got a new tattoo in a rather shady tattoo parlor in Marbella. No offense. I'm definitely going to be back. So I got this, hold on. See the shamrock here? It's like a geometric style shamrock, and it fits in with the rest of like the style of my tattoos. But yeah, so I went in to get that. It was one I'd want to get done for a while, and it's a nice intro to get done here in Marbella when I don't have an artist that I particularly trust, or not trust, but just want to have a good relationship with, and I know their work is kind of what I'm after. So I went into this proper rundown like shopping mall, and it reminded me of Rathfarnham shopping centre. It's just so run down, man. There was no open stores or anything like that. All the windows were like boarded up, and there were still some businesses, like there was an Indian takeaway in brackets in there with the windows boarded up and stuff like that. Don't know why you want to board up the windows. You want the customers to see the yummy food or something else. So anyway, I found the place. You have to go in, knock on the window, sliding door. You can't see anything. You know, you're really, remember from in between us, you're a chili. No, so anyway, I had an appointment with him. And he opens it up, slides me in, and he's got like just a really blank room, like all white. Everything, even the bench you'd lie on was white, and he whacked it on anyway, and he started playing. I just obviously there was a language barrier and stuff like that, so we had a little back and forth about sizing and stuff like that, and then we got started, and we didn't have a huge chat before, which I like is like something I enjoy when I get a tattoo is the little back and forth with Adam, who does my tattoos. Shout out to Adam Collins. I'm getting one done back at Christmas back in Dublin with him, so which I'm very excited for. But yeah, so I was kind of like it definitely felt a little more like routine, like you're going to get a procedure done from the doctor versus like something you enjoy doing. But then so he's just about to start and he goes, you mind the music? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And he just starts going, you know the one, oh yeah, I tell you something. I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. Just starts that, and he just played like Beatles the whole way through. He goes halfway through. I was like, man, are you gonna play like? He's like, you like the Beatles? He's like, yes, my favorite, only tattoo to the Beatles. I was like, man, that's fucking crazy. What a weird and beautiful band to choose to tattoo to. But yes, it was just listening to music the whole way through. It took about 45 minutes. It was handy, and yeah, the only thing now is just to have to keep it out of the sun, and my daily dips in the pool have come to a stop just because I can't get chlorine in it. But I really like it. I think he did a really good job. I need to start to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of the body now. I've kind of filled up this arm, so I'm going to start to look at some other doughy areas of my body to cover with ink. But yeah, thank you to Marbella Tattoo for my tattoo, and go if you guys are looking for tattoos in Marbella, maybe consider going there if it's not too elaborate a piece. Yeah, the other big news from last week is it was my birthday last week. 27 years young. Finally have an excuse to play 27 by Machine Gun Kelly and understand what it means, which was nice. But yeah, 27 years old, man. Myron's kind of calling me old and shit, which is a little odd. I feel young as fuck. Honestly, I feel like I'm only kind of finding my feet in like my work life. I feel like I'm starting to find the things that I like, where I should be putting my time more. I think the last year in particular has really kind of set my course in terms of what I want to do kind of day to day and long term. And I think I'm starting to find my feet a little bit. So I'm ready to kind of crack, like give this work life a good old crack now. So 27 feels young to me, man. Every day you see more examples of like lads in their like 40s or older, like succeeding on the internet or having like big personalities on the internet and stuff like that. And it kind of got me thinking, I'm kind of glad in a way. Like, obviously, I'm kind of frustrated I didn't start the podcast sooner, because I think it could have done a lot of good things. And I think being able to document everything from the podcast, I think it would have grown a lot faster and stuff like that. But also, I don't think I would have been mentally capable to host a podcast or just sit here and talk to a microphone even 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think I really knew what I don't, like, even the last like 3 years I've really developed my interests outside of work. Like, the last 3 years has kind of cemented those things. So I think it took for me until I was 26 to kind of be at a stage where I'd be comfortable to talk in the long form to people on the internet and be at least semi-confident about the content that I'm putting out. Well, yeah, 27. We went to a place down the road for food. This is gas. So, like, me and Myrna proper old in our, like, in the way we socialise. But so we book a dinner. We're like, get down there for about, 7 bells. Shouldn't be too busy. We'll kind of squeeze our way through the tables and get a bit of atmosphere going. Little did we know, most of people in Spain don't start their evenings until about 10. So we get down there. We're the only people there, apart from one guy who's watching the Chelsea Brentford game. Come on, Brentford. And he, so we go in and sit down. Your one is like, we're like, so when does it get busy here? And she go, busy? Maybe 10. I was like, oh, fuck me. Okay. So we got some grub there. It was nice, man. People who know me know that I'm a buffalo wing guy. People who've eaten with me have known that I'm partial to a bowl of wings. But man, I went into this space and I knew they had wings. I'd scoped out the menu before. I'm not an idiot. And buffalo wings are just there. No other description. Buffalo wings. So both that to me is, yeah, like, people will be pissed if I told you what was served to me. But he drops off the bowl of disappointment, and it was these creamy sauce, so much cream. And no, the cream shouldn't be a word associated with buffalo wings. I want butter in there. I want Frank's red hot sauce, and I want the two just marinated with maybe some maple syrup in there to give it a little sweet aftertaste. But I do not want the creamy, almost cheesy sauce that was served to me. So appetizers were a write-off. I actually threw a couple in the bin just to make it look like I'd eaten some, because I didn't want to just completely disrespect the guy, because it was the only appetizer we ordered, so I didn't want to just not touch it. With mayonnaise still on the way. Mayonnaise were good. Got like it was like a heavy wrap or a pita. Sorry, I hope this isn't popping. I'll fix it in post. It was a pita bread, and lathered up with like steak and pico de gallo, and it was class, man. Had those with a few of these, you know what I'm saying? And then we did shisha. You want to do shisha? And we did. So we did that. It's just not as good as you kind of think it will be. Like, he brings it out to you, and it's fucking great crack. He gives you the big straw and all, but it just, you kind of go rip a couple, and you're like, geez, my kind of like lungs kind of hurt. You get kind of lightheaded after like 2, and I was like, right, so that's probably the hit. Like, obviously Myrn didn't touch it, and then kind of just gave it back. 18 quid poorer. So yeah, that was kind of, I'll know for next time. You kind of have to do that once. It's a big thing over here. You see lads just like I see like 4 Turkish dudes all sitting together, and they'll have a shisha each beside them. They'll just be ripping that thing. So wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Wasn't that much fuss. So if it looks like I'm squinting, I'm getting absolutely sexually assaulted by these lights to give you this beautiful picture that you see there, which may or may not be out of focus. I don't think it is, but it could be. Anyway. Okay, so those are the big things. I say a couple of things a lot on this podcast. 2 things. If you watch this and you have a comment, leave it down, because I genuinely, not like a leave your comments down because I want to, like, you know, the way lads say that they leave your comments just because they want to see the number go up and it improves engagement. I'm not like, clearly I'm not in this for the numbers, lads. All right, you know what I mean. We got the boys here. That's all I need is you. I got my squad here who listen, and if more people want to listen, they want to listen. But look, I'm not in this for the vanity. So if there's areas of conversation or topics you would like to hear me talk about for whatever reason, leave them in the comments, and I'll comment back. I always do. Thank you to my commenters, Andy, Mark. See you boys in the comments always. Thank you so much. You know, when people go to like if you've seen Yes Man with Jim Carrey, when they go to see this band, and there's like 5 people, and there's like, thank you Jane, thank you Beck, thank you Sarah. You know, the ones where they kind of shout them out in front. That's kind of you guys for me. You're my groupies. So I appreciate the support, lads. Yeah. So with all that said, we did have some pretty epic fight content to go on over the last week. So I kind of want to go into that. I'm going to go into MMA quickly, and then obviously we'll go to the boxing stuff. So one sec. Okay. So just I'm only saying this to kind of, I guess, set the scene for a later episode. Let me see. Leon Rocky Edwards and Jorge Masvidal have been confirmed for UFC in December. Why is that significant? Most of you guys will know or will have heard of the saying, a 3-piece and a soda. Came the 3-piece with soda. That's from when Jorge Masvidal beat Darren Till at UFC London, and Leon was fighting on the undercard and kind of was flapping his gums at Jorge backstage after he won. Jorge goes over with his hands behind his back and then just fucking pieced him up a little bit. Technically assaulted him. But this is the fight game, so that kind of got swept under the rug. But like, yeah, he fucking slap man up, you know. And so that was kind of destined to happen after that. And it's kind of been brewing there. And now also like another little side piece. Leon just beat Nate, who was fighting for the BMF belt, which Jorge now has. Or if you care about the BMF belt, but I just think it's a good narrative. And now Leon's going to fight Jorge for the unofficial. Obviously the BMF belt is done, but if Leon wins, then he's the unofficial BMF after beating the 2 lads who fought for it. And then it leaves Leon kind of without question next in line for the 170 belt. So it's a big fight, man, in a lot of ways. Obviously the 2 lads are going to get there and throw hands, but yeah, I just want to bring that up because it's kind of since that happened, and I think it was a while ago, man. That was probably like 3 years ago that the incident happened backstage. So I'm looking forward to seeing that fight. Hopefully that nothing goes wrong there. There's no COVID and stuff like that. But I also saw Leon. He tweeted millionaire. So bad man get paid, you know. Hopefully he finally got what he's due. He's on like a 16 win streak in the 170 division, which is stacked. So the guy I think it's 10 or 11. Sorry, 16 but 10 in the UFC. The guy deserves some fucking respect. So let's see what happens in that one. But then we'll get to the main dish here, which is obviously Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fought on Saturday. And I always like to give it a few days after the fight happens because obviously stuff comes out. Do you know what I mean? You hear bits and bobs. People start to tell you how their camps were and stuff like that. And I'd heard from a Tony Bellew podcast, I think, that Tyson Fury's daughter or his newly born daughter had been in the hospital there about 6 weeks ago. She'd been in since she was born, she was in for 3 weeks in intensive care. So he clearly, like from what's been said, he didn't leave the hospital for 3 weeks. He was sleeping on the floor, obviously. And Tyson Fury is a huge family man. So that took total priority, which left him with what he said, or what was said, like 3 or 4 weeks to get ready for the fight. Do you know what I mean? And like you could see it in Tyson's performance after. He was clearly more, his shape wasn't as good as the second fight. His cardio wasn't as good. You could see him breathing hard, and even the 4th and 5th round obviously got rocked and stuff, but his cardio is usually amazing, and he's a 12-round fighter, no question, but you could see he wasn't as fit as he has been in the past. And I think he'll come out and say that. I think we will hear more about this as he does more interviews and stuff. But I think that the stuff with his daughter just left him in left him with very little time to get fight ready for a fight of that magnitude. With all of that said, this is why Tyson Fury is the best ever. At least the best heavyweight of our generation. Because obviously Mike Tyson will have my generation. Because Mike Tyson will have, obviously, that I can't speak to that. Muhammad Ali, I can't speak to that. But for me, first of all, what a scrap. Do you know what I mean? What a scrap. Credit to Deontay Wilder and his new coach. Can't remember his name. Malik something. Malik something was his head coach this time. And they clearly had a better game plan. You know what I mean? Deontay came in, he was working the body, and he was trying to work the body to open up the head. And it was a clear and obvious plan, but it was one, and it was effective to an extent. And even with that said, I don't think the 4th round knockdown of Tyson Fury was as much to do with Deontay being good as it was Tyson kind of just getting a bit cocky and putting his guard down. Like he just walked straight into one. Do you know what I mean? And I watched an interview with Big John Fury, who said the same thing. He was like, it looked like it's not like he like Deontay used his lead hand to kind of drop the guard or anything like that. He just comes straight down the pipe and comes through Tyson's guard, and that fucked him, man. Do you know what I mean? That you can see it. That shakes. It shook his body. You could see it. It reverberated through his body. So, man, there's no doubt, like, Deontay Wilder fucking hits so hard, man. And the fact that Fury went down twice, and he clearly was rocked, you know what I mean? It wasn't, even with in the second fight when he got knocked down and got back, or the first fight when he got knocked down and got knocked back up, he came back and won the round. But in this one, in the 4th round, he was still a little wobbly afterwards. You know what I mean? It was definitely a serious knockdown for him. But with that said, man, he just comes straight back with an iron will and just beats on Wilder, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm certain Wilder's camp had been told, don't you fucking think about throwing in the towel. I don't care if I'm spitting out blood. I don't care what's happening. I'm going out with my shield. And like, here's the thing. I get that too. I get that. And because of Wilder's right hand, you can never say he's out of it totally. Do you know what I mean? Because he can still just crack you, and that's the fight over. So it leaves your corner in a tough position where you're like, anytime you pull him out, people are going to say, well, like, he could have cracked him. Do you know what I mean? He could have hit him. So, but anyway, the towel wasn't thrown in, and Wilder went out in his shield. He got fucking starched up against the ropes, and Fury misses with the left hook, and then just comes over. Like, it's hard to look at because Wilder's looking this way, and the hook's coming in from here, and he doesn't even see it coming. And those are the ones that put your lights out, the ones you just don't see coming. And so he drops, man. You can see in his face, it was almost like the ground woke him up. He falls, and it was almost like the reverberations off the ground was what kind of brought him back to life, which is kind of scary. But the problem I have is, right, Wilder clearly is still one of the best heavyweights in the world right now. And if he had just got up and shaken Tyson Fury's hand and been like, look, man, what a fight of the ages. One will look back at for ages. The Fury Wilder 3rd trilogy fight will be a classic, and is a classic, and will be a classic for the rest of history. So if he could just got up and be like, man, what a trilogy. You're the fucking Tyson, you're the best. You know what I mean? I know it's hard to do that, but that's what champions do. And if he'd done that, he would be held in such a high regard in my eyes, because to come back in after losing the second fight the way he did, to come back in and be like, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to get back in with that guy who knocked the shit out of me, and I'm going to try and hurt him again. I'm going to try and beat him this time. Like, that takes balls, man. And then the way he performed and how brave he fought and like how fucking tough he is. They'd held his hands up. They both held their hands up at the end and kind of settled the beef there. And then you're looking on being like, all right, man, I want Deontay Wilder, Dillian White. I want Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. I want Deontay Wilder, Derek Chisora. I want to see all these. Let's go run through some of these English boys and see these fights. But now, obviously those fights can still happen, but it's just, you've left a bad taste in the UK fans' mouth On the American side, they'll love you forever. I don't think that they'll waver. But you had such a big opportunity to win over most of the UK with that fight because of how fucking amazing it was. And then if you just had stood up and said, like, fair play, Tyson, what a fight, and then I'll be back. Do you know what I mean? You do one of those and you'd be like, I'd love to take on Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, where you at? Like that, they're huge fights. It's more money. It's legacy. And I hope he doesn't let this loss kind of end the road for him, but it might do, man. Tyson Fury said, he's like, that's a knockout that can end a career. So I don't know, but it's unfortunate. But for Tyson Fury, man, you're the fucking GOAT. You're the GOAT. You now have a super fight potentially between. See, like, this is the thing now. They're going to do Usyk and Joshua too, which I think Usyk will get the job done again. And then, like, do I give a shit about Tyson Fury and Anthony Usyk? Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua. People will probably say that it'll still be a good fight, but I think with the size difference as glaring as it is, and with Tyson Fury's boxing ability, I think Tyson Fury dances around him. I really do. I don't know if... I think Tyson Fury is every bit a heavyweight, one of the heaviest around. And Alexander Usyk is a cruiserweight coming up. He's an amazing boxer, but he is a cruiserweight coming up. So I think Tyson Fury does the same thing he did to Wilder, and he uses his size and he wears him out, and he shows him what fucking heavyweight boxing feels like. The things Joshua should have done that he didn't do. You fucking, pull that trigger, man. Pull the trigger. And I hope he does in the second fight and we see a more entertaining fight, but I just don't know if Joshua has the boxing mind to be able to do what he needs to do. Who the fuck am I to say that? I've been in 2 fights, lost both. Only thrown 1 punch, and it was a missed punch on one of my friends. Hit him in the ear. Hit him in the side of the ear. So yeah, don't take any advice from me, but I do watch a lot of fights. So from a distance, I'll let you know what's going on. Yeah, so we're at about 30 minutes. The last thing I have here is kind of breaking news. And it's fucking unfortunate news, man. I'm kind of pissed about it. So for people who know, or people who might know, Conor McGregor traveled to Italy this week with his family to get his newest daughter, what's the word? Baptized in the Vatican, as you do. And most of us go down to the local and to get the priest. You get the news, and the priest will come down and dip you in the drink. But Conor McGregor decided to take it to Italy, take it to the homeland, and fucking do it proper. But unfortunately, what's apparently happened is he went out for a few suppings after the event, and he ended up cracking an Italian DJ at a nightclub, which is just, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this dude, and just assaulting strangers. Like, stop hitting people in public. That has to, like, it just you can't. You're a fucking fighter, and you are punching these civilians in the face. Your man, obviously, and I don't take it away from me. I'm sure he gets dogs abuse and all that shit, but it's kind of part of the gig of getting that much cash and being that big a superstar is that people are gonna fucking talk some shit, tell them to fuck off, but put your hands in your pockets. Like, you're embarrassing the Irish people a little bit, man, if I'm honest. All the rest of it, I don't mind all the antics and the, you know what I mean, the talk and stuff like that. Take that with a pinch of salt, and like, it's not everyone's cup of tea. But when you start leveling cunts, oh, hold on one sec. I think my camera stopped. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're back recording now. Yeah, man. So like, this is basically what I'm just thinking is you're kind of. You're ruining all the good work you did, in my opinion, when you... I don't know the circumstance, so I can't obviously comment hugely, but there's no smoke without fire, and this is the third time. Like, you can get the MGK shit, what happened to VMAs and them kind of having a little scrap. And then obviously there's all the times during fights, like fight periods with the guy, but like we're not going to count that. That's the fight game. But then you're leveling the old lad in the Dublin pub, which what the fuck are you doing? And then this lad, I don't care what the circumstances are, man. You can't go around as a professional fighter smacking cunts and then just being like, well, I'll pay it off and, well, you know, he'll know for next time. Do you know what I mean? No, it's not like that. You can't just... You're a trained fighter. Do you know what I mean? It's embarrassing at this point. If Tyson Fury was punching cunts around in a nightclub, I'd be embarrassed. You're a trained fighter. You do this for a living. You're hitting and assaulting people that don't do this for a living and don't get punched in the face regularly, and you're doing some real damage to people, man. So, like, you're not even away with your mates, whatever. Do you know what I mean? You're away with your kids and your missus, and you're about to get her christened, and you've just gotten her christened, and you're going out and yeah. So it's just disappointing, man. And like, as I said last week, me and Rob were talking about Conor McGregor and the legacy he left and the work he did in the UFC, and no doubt the UFC's in a better place because Conor McGregor was part of it, as is Irish MMA and MMA in general. But I don't know what your deal is, man, and if it's a bit of coke or if it's the drink or what it is, but you have a fucking nasty little temper on you, mate. And I think you might have a bit of an ego. Well, I think you might. You obviously have a bit of an ego, and I think now that you're a little bit of a laughing stock, and I don't say that to take the piss, but in the UFC, in the 155, in the serious MMA community, right now, you're not only your performances in the cage but outside the cage have been poor. You haven't won an MMA fight. Obviously, Donald Cerrone, and then before that was Eddie Alvarez for the 155. So I don't know, man. I hope. I think more stuff's going to come out about this. I'm seeing videos go up all the time about this and news articles going out. Some more info will come. I'll get you guys updated about it next week. But just I hope we see a change in behavior, but I don't think we will, unfortunately. I'm just thinking, I kind of have one more thing to talk about, but I don't know if people are going to give a shit. It's kind of YouTube related, and I'm gonna belt it out quickly and just get it done. And then if people aren't interested, you can pull off here. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe before you leave, and I'll have another episode for you next week. But for those who know the Nelk Boys, who are obviously a huge channel here on YouTube, and Steve Will Do It, who is also obviously is in Nelk and has his own YouTube channel. There's been some controversy going around the internet that allegedly one of the big online crypto casinos that they work with, it's coming out apparently the money that they've been getting from that, which is in the millions, through like the affiliate programs that they have, is coming through the losings of the audience that they convert. You know what I mean? So obviously Steve and the Nelk will be like, they will go and play a casino on their channel. They'll play like whatever the games are, blackjack, whatever, on their streams, and they'll be given house money. So they'll be given 15k, 30k in their account so they can go and play the games. They lose it, oh well, we'll give you more. If you win, great. I, as the audience member, will then be like, Jesus, they have 15k, they just turned it into 300k. I could do that. I'm going to go and bet. Unfortunately, obviously this is casino advertising 101 and marketing. This is the game. The house always wins. You know what I mean? Take all this with, or the atmosphere, or the kind of reverse side of this, which people are saying, and I actually agree with to an extent, is regardless of what kind of dirty or manipulative tactics that the Nelk Boys with this Rubet, this casino, use to advertise, it's still the responsibility of the gambler to either gamble responsibly or not gamble in that case. And but yeah, I did hear, or what the story, the only part that kind of is freaking me out, or not freaking me out, but makes me a little unnerved as an elk fan is that the money that they are making, or a big a portion of their payment that they get, like through percentages of the audience that they convert, is through the money that the audience loses, or an average of the amount of money that each customer loses when they come onto the site. So I think there's a little kind of, I guess, it just feels a little dirty there, where I as Steve will do it, or I as an elk will make the game look as good and make winning money look as easy as possible, so that my audience will then go, oh fuck, I'm going to go make money too. And then but as an elk, I'm knowing I need people to go and spend, because them spending and losing puts money in my pocket. Even as I say it, while dirty, this is like the world of influencer marketing and online gambling and gambling in general. So I actually, I'm going to keep you updated as this goes, but I just wanted to put it out there as something that caught my attention this week. But now that I think about it, while it may be immoral, I don't think it's illegal. I know that the guys, when they had to stream for Roobet, they couldn't do it in the US because Roobet's not regulated in the US. So they had to go to Mexico to stream it, which kind of is like, oh, if you have to leave the country to do it, while it's not illegal, it's also, should you be working with a company that is illegal in the United States? I don't know. But yeah, I think that's going to be about it, lads. It's about 40 minutes. I don't have a huge amount more to chat about, I'm thinking now. No, I'll have lots of stuff coming out. We have a music video coming out soon, which I'll talk about the process of shooting when it comes out. I think it's coming out like early next month with Don't Tell Mum, which is a band that I've worked with before. We've done some videos with before, and we shot a music video, and I'm really excited. It came out really great, so that's going to be coming out in the coming weeks, so I'll keep you all updated on that. But other than that, man, we're just kind of got a big week work-wise, just got a lot of stuff to get done. And then I have some upcoming stuff. I just finished a haircut video with Rob Lipset again for Blue Mon, so that'll be coming up this week, and we have some other upcoming stuff. So all is good, man. It was a good week. I'll keep working to get these pods up. I hope you enjoy it. This one's probably a little like ugh, because yeah, I kind of went mad deep into a crypto hole just before I did this, and my mind's kind of racing now, so I need to get cracking on some other work. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully I'll get this up tomorrow. It's Monday today. Hopefully I'll get that up tomorrow so you guys can watch. But yeah, thank you all for watching. This has been the Pear Pod, episode 5. Road to 100k subscribers. 100k? No. Road to 100. 100. Yeah. So subscribe. I need 30 people who aren't subscribed to subscribe, so I can be at 100 subscribers, and I can just, because right now I don't even tell people I do this, because there's 6-year-old girls on YouTube that have more subscribers than me, and I have lights and microphones, so it must be me to be the reason that we're growing so slowly. But hey, I'm going to keep going anyway, so fuck it. Thank you for watching, lads. I'll see you all next week. Peace.